Welcome to the Krusteaz Test Kitchen. This is just a sampling of the dozens of delicious home-baked breads you can make with Krusteaz mixes. Today, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a loaf of delicious homemade artisan bread using Krusteaz Supreme Bread Mix. First, let's go over what you'll need to make the perfect artisan loaf in your own kitchen. 1 package of Krusteaz bread mix, 1 package of yeast included in the box, 1 1/4 cups water at room temperature, about 1/4 cup flour, 1 large mixing bowl, a mixing spoon or rubber scraper, a tablespoon measure, a cloth towel, a large cookie sheet or baking pan, some vegetable shortening, butter or cooking spray, and a serrated knife. Once you've got all your equipment and ingredients together, you're ready to bake bread. Let's get started. First, place 1 1/4 cups water, the package of yeast, and the Krusteaz bread mix in a large mixing bowl. Stir this until the mixture is fully incorporated. Now it should be moist with no dry patches. Now your dough will be wet and sticky at this stage, like this. Now at this point, if you like, you can easily add your own signature to your bread by adding a tablespoon of your favorite dried herb or spice blend during the mixing. The bake time and all the other steps that follow will be the same. That's it for step 1. How easy is that? You don't even have to knead the dough. Now it's time for step 2. We're going to let our dough rise. Simply cover the bowl with a cloth towel and set it aside in a warm, draft-free area in your kitchen until the dough has doubled in size. The rising period will take about 2 hours, so this is a perfect time to run some errands, catch up on some chores, or have coffee with a friend. Now, one of the great aspects of this recipe is its flexibility. If you want to wait longer to bake the bread, this dough can be covered and stored in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. When you remove it from the refrigerator, just pick up with step 3. Once our dough has doubled in size, we're ready to shape and prepare the dough for baking. It's helpful to have your flour handy in a small bowl beside you. Now at this time, before putting your hands in the dough, it's a good idea to prepare your baking sheet with shortening, butter, or cooking spray. Now uncover the bowl and dust your hands with flour. This will help keep dough from sticking to your hands as you gently pull it from the sides of the bowl. Sprinkle the 4 tablespoons of flour on the top and sides of the dough and begin to pull the edges carefully away from the bowl. Tuck the edges under the risen dough so it's a nice round shape. Don't worry about any excess flour, just let it fall off. Now take the dough out of the bowl. It'll feel soft and moist, but don't worry. The dough for artisan bread is supposed to be like that. Lay your dough gently in the middle of your greased baking sheet. Pat the edges to further shape the dough into a perfect artisan loaf. Beautiful. If you'd like 2 smaller loaves rather than 1 large loaf, just divide the dough in half with a serrated knife and shape each half into its own loaf. All of the other steps are the same. Now we're going to let our shaped loaves rest uncovered for another 40 minutes. This will give us plenty of time to preheat the oven, do the last-minute prep before baking, and maybe even a few other items on the to-do list. Your bread should be resting, and now it's time to preheat your oven to 450 degrees. So after your dough has risen for 40 minutes, dust the top of your bread with about a tablespoon of flour. You could also sprinkle some coarse salt or your favorite herbs on top if you like. I'm just going to dust with flour today. Now we need to make a couple of cuts across the dough to allow steam to escape as the bread bakes. It'll also add a decorative touch to the bread. Using a serrated knife, cut about a 1/4 inch deep cross shape into the top of the loaf. Sometimes it helps to put flour on the knife. Be careful not to cut too deep. We're down to the last step. All that's left is the baking. Put your bread on the center rack of the oven. Close the door and set your timer for between 21 and 23 minutes. Don't be tempted to remove the loaf from the oven when it's light or golden brown. It's supposed to be a rich, dark brown color. Let's check back when the bread is baked. Look at that. So simple, and it smells delicious. Now, it might be difficult for you, but you're going to want to let your beautiful loaf cool before you slice and eat it. Thanks for using Krusteaz bread mix. Have a great time baking and eating your own homemade artisan bread. That is good bread.